Hello, and welcome to today's subscriber contract reading stories set in Whittleton Creek and supplied to us today by Paul Anderson 37. So moving on to our briefing, 47 is having a try at the mission stories. And moving on to our targets, and today we have 5 of them, along with a free map. And for today's challenge we'll be starting at the default location, and we'll be bringing with us a proximity micro taser, a lockpick and a silence pistol. So right from the start and off the bat, we require a couple of items, the first of which will be a wrench, which we can find nice and handily on the shelf in Nolan Cassidy's garage. So we're going to run straight down the road past the camera over the porch and into Nolan Cassidy's garden, and on the lower shelf we will find a wrench. From there we're going to head through the Wilson's property and into the house with the boat outside garden, and right in the corner of that garden there will be a nice large bush, and within that bush we will find a packet of cigarettes. So now we have everything we need, we can start to move on. So we're going to make our way to the front of the house with the boat outside, avoiding the 2 FBI/CIA guards in the garden. We're going to lockpick our way into the garage, and then lockpick our way down into the basement, and then finally into the secret passage that leads to Janus's property. And down in this tunnel we will find a number of items. Most specifically for us today, there will be a bodyguard outfit for Janus's house, and we also require this for a number of our eliminations. So once we get into the tunnel we can don the bodyguard outfit. We're then going to double back into the garden where our first target is located. Now when we run through the garden earlier on, we triggered a conversation between both of the FBI/CIA/guards, and one of them should now have moved off, leaving our target alone on the sun lounger. So we're going to turn on the tap here next to the patio and drop our proximity taser into the puddle, and we're going to very quickly move away so that we don't trigger said taser, and eventually our target will get up from the sun lounger. He will get distracted by the overflowing tap, and when he comes over to investigate he will have a shockingly bad day. So target 1 has now been dealt with. Our next couple of targets will all be in Janus's house, so that's where we're off to next, and to get there we are going to utilize the tunnels that we have unlocked already. So once we get through to the other side there will be an enforcer in Janus's basement. We can either ignore him as long as we take out the surveillance system, or in this case, just to be extra sure, we can render him unconscious, deposit him in the closet provided, and take out the surveillance system. Now doing it this way also gives us the bonus of having a spare weapon on us, which will come in useful, although it's not the only one that we will have access to. So we're just going to quickly grab that. We're going to make our way up into the house proper. Now usually at this point Janus, one of our targets, and Gunther, his bodyguard, who is an enforcer, will be in the living room. There they are. They will then head off up the stairs, and we want to give them plenty of time to get up there. As I mentioned, Gunther is a enforcer, and up on the upper landing there are 2 guards, one of which is also an enforcer and also a target. So once Gunther follows Janus into the bedroom, we can then position ourselves at the foot of the stairs, and our guard target will make his way past. We now need to make our way into the small spare bedroom, or small study in this case. So we're going to go around through all of the rooms in a clockwise direction, avoiding the enforcer in the corridor. Once we get into this room, we will be joined momentarily by the other patrolling guard on the landing, and when he comes in we can then pounce on him, render him unconscious. He will also drop a weapon which we are going to collect, especially if we haven't collected the one from the basement. We're then going to deposit him in the closet provided and select our silence pistol. Now at this point Janus and Gunther should be either already downstairs or heading that way, leaving us alone with our target, and we're just going to quickly shoot him in the back of the head. We're going to deposit him in the study, and we're going to leave his gun on the landing. That's quite important. So once we've got our friend here safely into the study and the closet, we can make our way into Janus's bedroom, making sure that the gun is on the floor and visible in the corridor. We're going to add the cigarettes we've collected to the table, and using the wrench we've collected, loosen the valve on the gas cylinder here. Now for the purposes of the video, as usual, I will be sticking around for the elimination. So when our target returns, he will spot the gun on the landing, and Gunther will then take that away, leaving Janus alone. Now the reason for this is that Gunther can also be eliminated in the upcoming explosion. Not always, but sometimes. So it's best to just have him out of the way completely. It also means that we can stick around for the elimination without having to run into enforcer entanglements. So once Janus collects his cigarettes and goes to light one, he will blow himself up, and we can then move on to our next target. And our next target is located in the Wilson's property, but we also have Mr. Cassidy to deal with, and for him we are going to require some poison. So we're going to hop over the fence into Mrs. West's house and down into her basement, where we will find a vial of lethal poison, and for us, more importantly, a vial of emetic poison. So we're going to grab the emetic poison and then head back out onto the main road here, and then we can continue on around to the Wilson's property, and up on the first floor we will find Jed West, who is already alone and isolated. For some reason he seems quite nervous. We do have to avoid Nolan Cassidy whilst in this outfit, as he is wandering around and he is an enforcer. Luckily enough, that was easily done, and we can continue on to the Wilson's property. We're going to head straight in through the front door, up the stairs and around to our left to the spare bedroom. We're then going to let ourselves in, and we are going to deal with Mr. West here. We need to deal with him with our bare hands, so we're just going to render him unconscious and give him a quick neck massage. We're then going to take his outfit, and we're going to make our way back down the stairs and out into the Wilson's garden, where we require one more item, and that will be a propane cylinder, one of which we have located just in the house for the house with the boat outside, right where we eliminated our first target, who is still there, hasn't been found yet, but he will be. So once we have the propane cylinder, we can then return to the Wilson's garden, and we can add the propane cylinder to the barbecue, and now Richard must start cooking. So while he's doing that, we are going to take up our position here and add our poison to the hors d'oeuvres. And once Mrs. Wilson has given her little speech and had a conversation with Mr. Cassidy, he will then make his way over here, and we can then serve him the poisoned hors d'oeuvres. He will get sick and he will make his way to the bathroom. And just for good measure, I am going to also serve hors d'oeuvres to his bodyguard in an attempt to slow him down a little.
Thank you very much.
So Nolan Cassidy has just had his hors d'oeuvres. He's finding them not to his liking. We're going to serve the bodyguard real quick, and then we are going to vacate the area and make our way to the bathroom, getting there just before Mr. Cassidy joins us. And we will wait inside on the off chance that Nolan Cassidy's bodyguard will follow him into the bathroom. This does happen on occasion on some maps with some of our targets, but not always. I don't think they're supposed to come in, but occasionally one or two will do so, most notably when taking out Tamara Vidal in Mendoza. So using instinct, we can see that the bodyguard has taken up position outside the room. Now we need to make sure that no one is walking past any of the windows when we pounce on Mr. Cassidy and give him a nice cold drink, helping him relieve his ill stomach. So with all of our targets now dealt with, all that's left for us to do is to make good our escape, and the nearest available safe exit will be the bus stop exit. So we are going to make a beeline straight there, just as all of the bodies are starting to be found. So there we go, one more subscriber contract taken care of, and once we get out of Whittleton Creek, we will get confirmation all of our targets have been eliminated according to plan. We had no objectives to worry about, and that will get us a silent assassin rating. I have been Anubis, and I will see you all in the next video.